Well, can't be good. Well, either way, I'll watch it on the thingy there. I don't know what it's called. It's the thing there, the mini. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, I'll watch it. If it's choppy, I'll tell you. Try and solve the problem. Either way, waiting for the spectators to load. EG after a little bit of, I don't know what it'd be. You think a little bit of hesitation from Fnatic might have cost in that game?
I think that Fnatic needed to push early. They had the lineup to do so. They were ahead most of the game through getting towers early on, as well as attract gold from the bounty hunter. And Evil Geniuses, their game plan was to take it to late game. They had to take it to late game when they have Deo on that Spectre. So Fnatic really needed to push the issue.
10 seconds remaining.
Moving into our
5
ban phase. Siren EG are still going to make the same first ban
Radiant team.
as they did with Siren. We're going to see a Fnatic follow it up in uniform and ban out that game, or they might move to ban the Spectre. I know that's Spectre's favored carries. I know that in the past
10 seconds
5 games out of pick a solo core, 3 out of the 5 they've gone with have actually
Dire team.
been out. His awareness on Spectre is really good. His timing on the young as well, and he's a committed farmer. That's what it takes. Hit the farming, and pretty damn good at it as well.
10 seconds
Up exactly the same as he did last time. Elder Titan ban as their second for EG as well right here. I would say Naga Siren is probably the best.
Alright, I had to cut Barry off on the call. Our connection was not good. I was not lagging in game. Alright, that's much better. I think we were lagging on your end now with the voice. I think it was the Skype. We should be good now. Sorry about that.
Is it better?
Yes. No.
Radiant team.
It still says yellow. Man, we were just having technical problems time and time again.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
While we're still in the draft, I'm gonna let you pop up the stream. I think that'll be better. Are you able to cam right now?
Let me see. I would probably the overlay set up and stuff. The old ones. I haven't put up the new ones yet.
Radiant team pick.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm gonna lag. I don't feel like I'm lagging in game, but you keep chopping up, so I might actually be lagging.
Hold on. I will look. See. Give it a sec. We'll see when it gets to that point, the broadcast preview on the Twitch page, and then it's really, really quick and grab the overlays.
10 seconds
Alrighty.
remaining.
Troll Warlord
EG.
is gonna get picked up once again. This time it's gonna be on EG's side though.
Remaining 5 seconds.
That's
Remaining.
surprising there. Here's the
Radiant
Fnatic
team
taking the
pick.
bizarre.
Dire
They've actually
team
done a
pick.
complete switch his last game. EG's first pick is going to be Fnatic's, followed by the Lifestealer there as well. Just 2 really solid picks. The Lifestealer, just a really good core. You can pair secondary or primary, and he will do really, really well the entirety of the game. He can solo a lane. Rage is a pretty potent escape unless you've got something like the Naga Siren, which is already been cool, but probably not for long now that Fnatic picked up the light, waiting on their second pick. Something they want to pair with the Troll Warlord and be almost anything. And we are going to see the
Dire
Weaver,
team ban.
probably one of the best heroes to pair with the Troll Warlord, is to go up against a Weaver with maximum attack, who already has a Desolator or another damage item. I've seen it before. It is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous how much damage Weaver can put out in a fight with the maximum attack speed on Troll Warlord. He is unbelievable. And with that, EG have already shown both of their cores. They've got the Troll and they've got the Weaver. That is, unless they want to run the Troll mid, then they have the potential of picking up another one, which might get a little redundant, still possible.
Alright, Barry. Let's use endgame. I think it's Skype that's messing up. The only thing that's lacking is your voice now. it's just like stuttering through. So I think it's Skype. So can you use in-game instead and unmute co-broadcasters?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Hold on one sec.
let's do that. All right, can you hear me?
5 seconds remaining.
Very, very, very.
Reserve time.
Okay, let's hear proof. How you sounding?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
Can you hear me at least?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me. These technical difficulties.
So let me.
Mine should be on. Yeah, everything looks good on my end. I promise you guys, the past month that we've been streaming Netolic, we've not had any issues. Literally, no issues whatsoever with lag on the stream or anything like that. And today, I don't know what's going on. I had the power go out about 10 minutes before we started streaming. And ever since then, I don't know what's going on, but it's been pretty bad. So I really do apologize. I know you guys just want to watch some Dota. And this lag is getting in the way. I'm just as frustrated as you guys are. Please try and bear with us. We'll get it fixed up as soon as possible.
Reserve time.
It looks like we're going to have Barry switch over to streaming. We'll see if his computer and internet can handle it a little better. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the draft for a little bit. Nake's Visage picked up Weaver and Troll Warlord for Evil Geniuses. The bans are now flying out here. We have Bounty Hunter Nick's data here, as well as Clockwork, courtesy of EG. And Fnatic, they go ahead and get rid of the Abaddon. They do not want that combo to go with the Weaver. Pretty brutal combo in lane. I mean, how do you kill anybody? How do you kill the Weaver? How do you kill the Abaddon when you have that dual lane that is just so brutal? Even later on in the game, Abaddon is a little weaker early on in the early stages because he doesn't apply much pressure. He's just really good at keeping people alive. But later on in the game, mid-game and late game, he excels really well because one, you can't kill him, and two, he's going to keep everybody else on your team alive. So really, really great in that regard. And now Nature's Prophet is going to be the 4th ban for Fnatic. Darkseer is going to be their 3rd pickup too. It's hard to push into a base against the Darkseer. You have that wall that's going to get popped up. You're fighting uphill, and then you have Ion Shell to boot. So very, very brutal to do so. You're going to get vacuumed closer into the tower as well. So very difficult in that regard. Spirit Breaker is going to make a grand appearance here, though. This is going to be very exciting. Spirit Breaker, when you see him picked up in a draft, you just automatically know that it's going to be an awesome game. It just has to be an awesome game when there's a Spirit Breaker in the game. He's always constantly going around with that charge and ganking people, so should provide a lot of entertainment early on in this game. Very decent and standard draft out of Fnatic. They have just heroes. You know, there's nothing that just booms about their draft so far. The Visage and Rubik is a brutal combo for any tri-lane. With that Lifestealer on top of that, you're looking at a really aggressive lane. Because Lifestealer, he's just going to be able to beat down on people while the Rubik holds them still. Visage with that Soul Assumption is going to help secure that last initial or last little bit of damage that you need to actually pick somebody off. Gonna be interesting to see. EG is up 1 game so far, so this is a best of 3. Fnatic does need to win this game to force a 3rd game out of EG, so we'll see if we can take this to 3 matches today, and you know, maybe 3rd game is a charm for this lag to actually settle down, but we'll see what we can do in terms of getting that situated here, hopefully before the game starts so that we don't miss any first blood.
10 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Doom is gonna make an appearance here. EG with these very interesting drafts. You see last game, the Spectre was picked up, and Spectre doesn't get a whole lot of love in the competitive scene. It's really hard to get her going in the game. despite being one of the hardest carries late game, you have to get to that point and not lose before that. And it's hard to get to that point. You be aggressive against a Spectre, and he has a really hard time trying to find that farm. But Evil Geniuses, they felt confident in doing so despite the push lineup that Fnatic had last game. And this game, they've got some really interesting picks again with that Doom and that Spirit Breaker. They're not unconventional, but they're not, you know, the heroes that you see time and time again, like someone like, say, Fnatic's draft. So it's interesting to see. You're going to have that Doom that's going to be able to shut down the Lifestealer. Even through Rage, that Doom will be able to get applied to that.
5 seconds remaining.
And I'm just going to see where Barry's at on this stream.
Reserve time.
So you guys know, tomorrow there is going to be another cast that's going to start a little later than today. It's going to be Speed Gaming versus Empire. And sorry that I kind of overlapped there on the sound. I had to bring up the website to see who we're casting tomorrow. But yeah, Speed versus Empire should be really exciting. It's going to start at 2100 CET. So make sure you guys join us for that. Ever might be able to cast the first game with us. After that, Barry will be joining me once again. I am ProveAttitude, for those that don't know. Bans are already through here. Storm Spirit taken out. Same with OD, nixed from this pool. And Queen of Pain is going to be the mid of choice for Fnatic. Waiting on this last pick for EG. They've got 30 seconds left. 10 seconds bonus time if you want to count that as well.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Runner at your service.
And it is going to be Windrunner. Now we can get into the game and see how my lag actually is. If it's not bad, I will celebrate. We'll see. I'm going to call Barry once again, see if the Skype has settled down.
Hello. Are we good?
It looks okay.
Okay.
I'm not hearing lag anymore. Could we actually be that lucky?
I don't know. I'm double checking. If we aren't that lucky, I'm getting it ready if I need to throw mine up as well.
Awesome.
So it's almost done. I'm putting some settings.
Well, you're not stuttering anymore on the Skype, and my screen is not stuttering on the heroes. We'll see when something actually happens, and something might just happen as Fnatic is all smoked up, looking to go on and head to the enemy jungle. I don't think we have time for introductions. The fight is going to start happening right off the bat. Looks like MSS is going to be the unlucky victim on this list. Rubik with the telekinesis up in there, thrown back right into the fray of all of Fnatic. That's going to be first blood. Fnatic with an easy kill in the jungle. The smoke proving to be quite effective this early on. And yeah, no lag in that fight. I think we are good, Barry.
I feel so far behind. I was so busy getting everything ready that I missed the draft already now. And they have a breaker and a Doom as well. Got all fangirly and stuff. It's all weird. Anyway, over on the Fnatic squad, we've got Fly playing on the Rubik, No Tail on the Visage. Darks are going to be played by Trixie. Lifestealer, Era, once again playing our core, and our mid lane is going to be Hani on the Queen of Pain.
And EG, they're on the dire side this time. It's going to be Jo on that Weaver. Fear will be on your Spirit Broken. Doom going to get played here by Universe. Fogged is going to be on Windrunner. And lastly, the one who gave first blood, MS, is going to be on that Troll Warlord. He looks to be mid, which means that Fogged looking to take up that off lane if he decides to go there eventually. For now, he's just going to be up here supporting. Same with Universe. He's going to be in the jungle looking to get some creeps early on, get that Devour underway. Top lane is indeed going to be an aggressive tri-lane, but it's not what you'd think. It's actually going to be an aggressive caster tri-lane as Trixie is up there with No Tail and Fly hanging around, and they might not actually expect this. Fogged might just run right into Fly. Trixie there with the Island Shell, that's going to burn him down, but Fear as well as Jo, they're there to loan the right clicks, but it's not going to be enough. No Tail with the kill once again. This time it's going to be on Fogged. 2-0, Fnatic coming right out of the gates and punching hard.
Well, the amount of damage they have in this trial lane is just unbelievable. You've got the Soul Assumption as well as Trixie's Ion Shell. It just hits so hard on both, or excuse me, of just Jo as well as Windrunner. They're both so squishy. I mean, JO's not going to be able to take any of the damage. He's going to have to stay Shikuchi for most of these fights, or invisible, out of sight, whatever you'd like to go with, and Fogged already moving down towards this bottom lane here with Universe, because that's unfortunately what he's going to have to do here. I mean, Universe does have ice armor, so he could look to, if you wanted to, lend that over to Fogged, help him out down in this bottom lane. But one of the things I would like to touch on is EG picking up the Spirit Breaker. I really love Spirit Breaker as a, I guess you want to call him a pseudo support, because I find that if you do a good job, he transitions so well into being a really strong semi-core in your mid and your late game, just because of how strong he can get once you've picked up the drums, once you've got stuff like treads on him as well. He does a lot of damage and contributes quite a bit in these team fights, especially with the Troll Warlord there as well. It just amplifies how strong Charge can be.
It is strong. On top of that, Bash is going to bash you no matter whether you're magic immune or not, and that's great throughout any part of the game, but because he can kind of disrupt someone like a Naix who's going in. He's going to get bashed back, potentially. His ultimate, again, will go ahead and go through that rage as well. So I think that Spirit Breaker is going to be quite a factor in this game for EG, and it's going to be very exciting once you get some levels in that charge. He's going to be able to help gank the other lanes as well. And now Hani's going in for MSS. The supports are nearby. Fly, No Tail, they're there. Telekinesis back. MSS, he's trying to flee out of here. He's not going to make it too far. Just the right click damage alone is going to help secure that. And once again, MSS is down. Fnatic is just not letting up this game. Bottom lane, Fogged. Era's just gonna go ahead and beat down on a Fogged. Shouldn't make it out of here alive. Windrun has already been popped, but Era, he's trapped in the creeps, eats out very successfully with that Tango, and he is going to live to see another day. Pops the solve immediately.
4-0 at 3 minutes for Fnatic right now. None of these lanes are looking good for EG. Their expectation was that their trial was going to do a lot better, but they're actually going to make a trade here on Arrow down in the bottom lane. Quick rotation from Universe. That was probably one of the more surprising moments there for Era. It's like, oh, hello, Universe. Like, where did you come from? Like, the last thing you expect is for a Doom to be down on your side of the map, especially in an off lane. That is really surprising, but honestly, it's a pretty awkward dual lane, having Windrunner and Doom in the same lane. It's kind of
oh man,
again,
that is just
twice
not good.
now.
Fear, he's charging on through, looks to be able to pick off Fnatic, but backs up just in time. Does not want to dive to tower, and Hani, and No Tail, but the Shadow Strike is going to go ahead and get applied onto Fear. Fear trying to make it out of her life. Is there going to be enough damage to actually make it a kill? And it is indeed that Scream coming back in the nick of time. Barely enough mana on Hani, but they do secure it. 6-1, Fnatic. They want to force a game 3.
This early game, I'm really not sure where AG was going with this. It's just so messy. There really isn't much intent in a lot of their movements. I mean, the Spirit Breaker charge was just trying to make some kind of a makeup or a trade on it, and then Fear had realized that it was probably a bad decision going in on 3 when you've got still 2 of the 3 sitting at, you know, a safe amount of health, and you're a Spirit Breaker who's only, what, level 3? I mean, that's not really going to do all that much here. Charge out on Trixie, just using it to move up back towards his top lane. Trixie does have a Soul Ring, so even if he dips below 30 mana, which I mean he won't with the Soul Ring, he could surge away anyways here, but is he going to cancel it? Fear does cancel the charge, and unfortunately there hasn't been much use out of the Spirit Breaker this game, which frankly isn't going to be all that good. You pick up the Spirit Breaker for a lot of that aggression, and if you're not getting it, it really doesn't do all that much. Down the bottom lane, they're looking once again for a kill on Fogged. Instead, No Tail just going to be a pesky guy, disrupting the clarity on Fogged, just pushing him back up behind his tier 1. allowing Era the space he's going to need to continue to farm. He leads our pack right now, 28 for 17, followed closely by Weaver in this top lane as well. Jail, 27 for 5, although the rest of his team not doing so well.
Yeah, it's been a really rough start for EG. It's not something that is going to completely just hinder EG later on, because look at their heroes. You have Doom, you have the Troll, you have the Weaver. There's a lot of core heroes there, and they have the means to really take this mid and late game. But Fnatic does have the team fight available to them. So out of the Nakes, out of the Darkseer, and out of that Queen of Pain, you have a lot of damage there, and you have a lot of AoE damage on top of that. So the 6-1 lead isn't really deceptive, but you can't count EG out of this. They have powerhouse heroes to get back into this, and now fighting over the rune, looks like Universe is going to be able to grab that. Fly just barely out of range of denying that, but Haste bottled up on Universe is going to be a little scary, especially as he nears level 6 here. But Era, he had to have some support on this bottom lane. Notel forced to transfer rather down here and start pulling the creeps, and this is great. It gives Notel levels, it gives Notel gold, which means you're going to have more wards throughout the game. And Era, he has the creeps back on his side, which is forcing Fog to stay out of the lane more and not soak up that experience.
Well, frankly, Fnatic have made rotations, but it's not rotations that they've really been forced to make. It's none that put them at a detriment. Moving Visage down to that bottom lane, as you mentioned, only does them good. Meanwhile, EG had to move their Windrunner down to the bottom lane, which is something I really don't think they wanted to do. I mean, they were able to pick up the kill with Universe, which is a fantastic adaptation, but nonetheless, they were still going to benefit with having Trixie in the solo lane, but nonetheless, they're trying to pick up a kill on him, and he's just too tanky at this point. I mean, he's level 7. Level 2 Surge, level 4 Ion Shell, so if you're not able to bring him down quick enough, you're not going to be able to go on him for too long, as the Ion Shell is going to tick you down really, really quick, especially that Fear doesn't have the burst damage of his ultimate at 6. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, MSS looking for a trade kill on Fly. He realized that he might go down here. Good combo with the Whirling Axis, picks him up that kill. Queen of Pain does have the ultimate if she wants to drop it, but Doom Universe is coming in, looking to make the catch on Hani. Hani does have the bottle charge if he needs it to escape. A few more right clicks, all it's going to take. He's bottling up, waiting for the cooldown of Blink to end, but that's probably not going to be enough for him. Scorched Earth picks up the kill on Doom with the Haste Rune coming in. Already has 6. Didn't even need to drop the Doom on Queen of Pain there, but this is the point where EG can look to pick up these kills. They've got the Doom on Doom. They can shut down a lot of these important heroes who rely on these escapes. Looking at Trixie, looking at Queen of Pain.
Is there any other hero whose ultimate is the same name as the hero's name? I just find that just kind of weird that his hero name is his ultimate as well. I don't know. It's strange to me. I don't think there's any other hero like that. Doom is
gonna get a little redundant.
Yeah, he's one of a kind, to say the least. But does have that level 6 now, is gonna run into Notel here. Notel snatching up that regen just in the nick of time. Universe really wanting to bottle that, as he is quite low on mana. 7-3, it has evened up a little bit better for EG. They've at least gotten themselves a few kills finally. Bottom lane, while mid lane was having a confrontation, there's also a struggle in the bottom lane, but Fogged, he managed to get out of there with a TP. There is no stun whatsoever out of the Nakes and out of the Visage to actually be able to stop that TP. So Fogged did live to see another day, and he's back in the lane. But look at this CS so far. Era is sitting at 52 in this bottom lane, 8 minutes into the game. The closest to him is going to be Weaver at 48, and then you have his own allies, 38 on the Quap, and then 35 on the Darkseer. Darkseer's done just fine on this top lane. That Stout Shield, although a small item, it proves to be really effective against people like a Weaver and like a Spirit Breaker. They do that physical damage, and sometimes that damage is going to get reduced because that's all they do. There's not a whole lot of magic damage in this lane other than that Shikuchi. But fortunately for Trixie, there's also not any lockdown. There's really nothing here except for that stun, except for the bash out of that Spirit Breaker. But again, it's kind of chance. So Trixie is just having a fine and dandy time in this lane.
Proves to be an effective damage blocking
I love those
item.
puns.
I saw that.
It's hard to pun your name, Barry. You don't have a name like Ever Approved. There's so many puns you can do with that. You can't pun Barry.
Well, maybe that's the point, you know? I mean, I'm living in the danger zone.
I guess so.
People who know the reference I just made, I'm really proud
Danger
of.
Zone.
Thank you!
I know. One of my favorite shows.
Great. Danger Zone! I love it. Anyways, anyone who hasn't seen the Top Gun remake on YouTube for Archer, I'm disappointed. Check it out, it's fantastic. Anyways, right now Fnatic are sitting pretty once again in the early game, similar to their last game. I mean, you've got 3 of the most important heroes sitting near or at the top of our last hit charts. You've got Lifestealer, Queen of Pain, as well as Darkseer, and what concerns me is Hani. Hani has had a phenomenal early game, and farmed Queen of Pains, who also have kills, they get pretty hard to stop moving into your mid game, especially if he wants to look to pick up an Orchid. I mean, the Orchid is going to do wonders against Weaver, especially, I can't emphasize enough how much it's going to shut down the Weaver. How easy it is to kill Weaver when he's not in Shikut. It's easy enough. And the moment you silence him as well, he's a sitting duck in that lane. And your EG is going to have to devote so much to protecting him as soon as that Orchid comes out from Hani.
And the burst damage out of Hani on top of that is going to be tough for Weaver, because if you're stunned out, you have that low HP pool, and if you get stunned long enough, that burst damage for Queen of Pain, you're looking at 600, 700 damage, just boom, immediately from the Scream and from the Sonic Wave, and that's just going to be really brutal for Hani. Rotations are coming down to the bottom lane though, and Fogged is going to be forced to back up. I don't think he can defend this tower though. The push might just come on through. We do have supports coming in. That's going to be Doom. He's making his way down here. Has Doom available as well. Notel running in deep. This could just be the NFL Bahani. Jumps in there as well. Fogged popping the wind run. A few more right clicks, but it doesn't matter. Wind run is going to negate that now. Spirit Breaker, he's charging in. They do get Fogged in the long run. Now Doom is going to be applied to Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain out of the fight. Era with the right clicks damage is going to try and take down MSS. The wall is not proving to be quite as effective as they had hoped. 2 to 3 right now, but Notel is still taking a beating. Everybody's forced to back up. Fly, Era, Notel, all still alive. Jo backing up to the safety of his tower as well. That fight did not go too well for EG, but they did defend their tower for the time being. Jo has got to get out of this dangerous, dangerous lane as the tower will fall.
EG coming down to this bottom lane was a bait for Weaver. That's what it usually always is, you know, looking to push down. The off lane is always what you're going to do to bait out the supports from the top lane, as well as either moving your carry down to the bottom lane, which is looking to interrupt Weaver's farm. And with that, I mean, they weren't able to kill him. They were able to waste a little bit of his time, but they still picked up kills, and Weaver was able to escape with assists and a kill of his own, which is not optimal, especially that, as you mentioned, they still didn't bring down that tower. Although, worth mentioning that Queen of Pain did go down in that fight. Very well timed Doom from Universe there, dropping it on her as soon as she overextended without enough mana to really do anything, even when Doom ended to begin with. So, Darkseer moving back up to this top lane. He's probably going to be looking to finish his mech. He's already got the armor, the chainmail there as well, with the charge coming down on Trixie. Trixie realizing this, already popping the surge, moving to look back behind his tier 1. Fear does have level 6, and I think that was the ambition he was looking to count on there, is having that 6 already to jump on Trixie, but they probably wouldn't have had enough damage, and he would have been able to get off another surge and escape to safety there. But MSS in this mid lane, hanging back behind the tier 2. Not sure what he's waiting for. I think they're waiting to possibly look to knock down the mid tier 1, but either that or he's waiting for smoke on Universe when he comes back, and that's what it is. Yep, Universe has picked up smoke, and we're going to move towards this middle lane and probably look to rotate down and bring a kill over to Era. Or bring aggression over there. You don't want to bring Era and kill them.
Era still leading the way though, with 79 CS. Right behind him is going to be Quap, his own ally. Ancients trying to get pulled and stacked here from Fogged. Fogged doing a decent job, but the Familiars are disrupting that up just a little bit. Trixie, he's getting charged once more. Is this going to be the time when they actually do it? It looks to be so. Charge is going to connect, and now Jo with the right clicks. Even Universe is there. Do they apply the Doom to it? They looks like they do not need to do so. Vacuum is trying to help out. Era, AD, it's doomed. TP supports are still coming on through in EG. EG is forced to back up. Hani gets in there. Nice Scream of Pain looking to line up the Sonic Wave. Does do so on Doom. Universe is down. Jo trying to secure a few kills. Era as well as Hani are still in there. MSS looking to get in on the action. Realizes he has no more teammates nearby and does go ahead and retreat. But no, going back in, playing cat and mouse here with Hani. Hani not going to fall for it though.
Hani, he's sitting at 3,000 gold here. He's probably going to look for the early sheep stick, which
Divine.
I can't blame if he's
Just
able
do
to
it.
pick it up. Divine on Quap, go for it. What is it, 20-minute rapier on Quap?
So
Go
brutal.
I mean, go big or go home. I mean, you're playing Spectre, right? Obviously not playing Queen of Pain. I mean, he's going to go for the early sheep stick. If he can pick that up before 20 minutes, it's going to be pretty devastating. I mean, the mana regen is nice, especially that Queen of Pain has a decent amount of... Excuse me, decent amount
MSS.
of...
Caught out in the woods here. Doom's there as well, but now looks like Hani is gonna get away. That blink proving to be very, very effective. MSS is so low. Hani might just loop back around. Nope, MSS is going to TP out of here and JB just find the fly. Not gonna be so lucky. Gets charged out of fear, and now Jo looks to charge, but does not actually go on through with that as the tower is very, very threatening.
Interesting to note, Hani, or excuse me, Era already has his armlet, and even if Era gets doomed, Feast still goes through the Doom. Feast is not disabled by Doom, which frankly is one of the, obviously, the scaling mechanism for the Lifestealer. So frankly, I mean, there are better targets that he could Doom. Pretty much anybody on the Fnatic lineup other than Era is probably a better Doom target, as I mean, Era, you're pretty much, as soon as he's doomed, he's going to be forced to fight, and he's still going to be able to get a decent amount of lifesteal here. MSS moving back towards this middle lane. You've got the Familiars doing quite a bit of spotting. A lot of work on these Fnatic Familiars here is No-Tail. We've seen what No-Tail can do with these Familiars. I mean, his micro on Meepo is something to be reckoned, you know, something to really be recognized, and same thing goes for his micro when he plays up on the Visage, and things are going out on Trixie. They do have the vision with this ward here if they want to go for the charge, and there it is. Charge coming off. They've got this reinforcements of Doom as well as Weaver with the speed as well. Fear, he does have the ultimate if he wants to prevent the movement, and there's going to be the level death as well. But Queen of Pain, Hani making look something of his well. Era coming, and he's got the Nax bomb, and right away this turns around so quickly. Fear, open wounds on Fear, bringing down the Weaver as well. The damage, do they have enough to bring Fear as well? And Era picking up a double kill. More gold in his pocket, and all they've got to lose for it is the Darkseer.
I'd say that's a pretty darn good trade when you're Fnatic. It looks like it wasn't going to go too well for Fnatic in that situation, that Trixie was just going to fall. But you have these TP supports that come on through, and they are just spot on every single time they come through and they turn things around. So Fnatic doing really well. Fogged on the bottom lane. He's going to get open wounds here. He's just going to go ahead, pop Wind Run, and TP out of there. And once again, Era has no way of stopping that. No Basher up on Lifestealer just yet. So this Wind Run into TP strategy that we see Fog doing time and time again is useful. It's working. Don't fix what's not broken. Never.
The Era, once he gets that Basher, it's going to be a pretty scary Era. I mean, he already does a decent amount of damage. Lifestealer always does quite a bit of damage with that skin. But over in the top lane, they're looking for a kill on Fly. He does have Shikuchi, but the bugs are going to finish him off there as Jo picks up a kill. Already with the Mithril Hammer, that could be a Desolator or a BKB. Honestly, it's probably going to be a BKB for him. I mean, he's not going to want to be burst down by the Queen of Pain. That's probably his biggest fear right now, is the amount of damage that Hani is going to be able to do to him is going to be out of this world, especially he knows that Hani is really farmed and is going to have his Sheep Stick within the next 5 or 6 minutes. And Sheep Stick against the Weaver, one of your better CCs against the Weaver. And honestly, I mean, you don't get anything better than a Sheep Stick in terms of CC to begin with. I mean, maybe Fiend's Grip is better, but Sheep Stick is probably king.
Yeah, if you're going for the Desolator, it's going to signal that Jo is looking to split push, looking to take down some towers on his own, and if he gets to BKB, it's going to signal that he's looking to participate in these team fights and not get crowd controlled out of them via that Queen of Pain like you mentioned. So we'll see what that forms into. Both options are fairly viable, but with Fnatic, they're going to be forcing these team fights early on. They have the lead already, and as long as they keep that, they are going to actually force Jo's hand to fight, and if you have to do that, then you're probably going to need that BKB. While your damage will suffer, you will at least be able to stay in the fight longer. It's not like you have a Chin in the game or an Abaddon in the game that's going to keep you alive throughout the fights. You don't really have anything. With that Troll Warlord ultimate, you do have more potential damage output, but you don't have the tank. So that's kind of the trade-off that we're going to see, is Weaver will have that Troll ult to rely on for more damage via the attack speed, but the BKB is going to keep her in the fight longer.
Trixie as well. Not sure what Trixie's going to be looking to build next. I mean, there are a few heroes on EG that are going to be hitting pretty hard in terms of right-click later into this game, so he could look to possibly build a Scepter, but down in the bottom lane, MSS does have a DD Rune. He's going to be looking to knock down this tier 1 from behind some vision here, just so he can TP to safety. His Queen of Pain is the only one down here.
Oh, they stop it!
Familiars from No-Tail find him and block out the TP as No-Tail doing work even when he's not there. Those Familiars
pretty terrifying. They can be just about as much of an extension as an extra hero as Chen creeps can be at the beginning of a game, and you're not going to want to mess with it either. Meanwhile, in top lane, Rubik does go down once again in this top lane to the combination of Fear and Jo, as they are apparently glued to the hip, these two. So we're going to have to see. People are telling me that Doom does disable Fear, but does disable Feast. We're going to have to see, because either I'm blind.
Yeah, it disables passives, critical, anything. It disables everything. Any skill, whether it's passive or not, it's still going to disable it if you're Doom. It's pretty much the beat-all.
We'll see. We'll see. I like having bets. I will have bets with right away.
Top lane.
Top lane looking to bring down Fear. One more right click is all it's going to take, and Darkseer with the Ion Shell is actually what delivers the killing blow. The Spirit Breaker. Jail's okay with that though. He's just going to farm the creeps right next to Spirit Breaker's grave. Not really care too much about it there, as he's 10 gold away from finishing his Deso. And that's probably one of the scariest items on Weaver. I always say if you're going to play Weaver, Deso is a core item. You can't go Weaver without building a Deso, just because of the amount of damage that you get from having the Geminate attack on the Desolator, because pretty sure the minus armor applies before the first strike does, so you get the bonus damage on both attacks. So it's actually a pretty terrifying ability. But right away, the smoke coming in from Fnatic. They're looking for the Doom, and they're just gonna miss Universe here, hiding behind both sets of line of sight. But Spearbreaker coming up to this top lane, charging out on the Lifestealer, unaware that a lot of Fnatic, but Fnatic are down at the bottom. They have to get up there and save Air before the charge comes out. He is doomed. We're gonna have to see where this goes. Fear, the time is ticking. They need to get the rest of the lineup here. Fear, he might be forced to just turn and man fight this, but he's actually gonna go down before any of Fnatic can come up and respond to this. But question is, are they going to turn around and fight this? I mean, EG is split. You've got too far and too behind. It's whether or not they're actually found. And JO's going to spot them out. No tail though. No tail. A little bit hesitant. He drops his sentry, but instead they're actually going to look to bring down Universe. He is sheeped up, but the focus is actually going to change over to Trixie, down towards No Tail. Trixie's well. He's taking the damage, but Darkseer's pretty tanky. He's got the level 2 wall, puts that down right next to the ledge. Fear taking quite a bit of damage. Triple kill for Hani as he lands a phenomenal Sonic Wave, knocking out 4 out the box. Hani with that triple. Very well played in terms of positioning there from Fnatic, excuse me.
That's scary because Fnatic just won that fight without Lifestealer at all. There was no contribution from Lifestealer at all that fight, and they still managed to come out ahead. If this smoke gank was maybe right here or so, when the attack came down here on Era, that team fight would have just been completely a 5-man wipe. It would have been absolutely devastating. If they were close by, Era could have just turned and started fighting on that next because he knew that his team would be nearby. But because everybody was down here, they couldn't get up here to Era in time. Era goes down, but Fnatic still manages to 4-man wipe them, even without their hero that does a lot of freaking damage. They had Queen of Pain there, they had the sheep stick, they had the wall, and that proved to be enough. That's all they needed, and this shows just how far ahead Fnatic actually is this game. The XP graphs are showing a pretty decent lead of about 6k, and the gold graphs are even more than that, nearing 8k of a difference there. Fnatic, they look pretty good to take this game.
Well, Queen of Pain is just so scary when she's farmed. I mean, she's got her sheep stick already, 1,700 gold. She's gutsy enough to even pick up a gem, and Hani is just running around with this Lifestealer inside of her. She is the scariest thing on the map right now. With that sheep stick, she has the potential of picking off almost anybody on EG, other than the Doom, who's probably just going to Doom and turn around and try and out DPS her or just Shadow Blade away, considering he's picked that up. So, gonna have to see where this goes. They were looking for MSS in the jungle, and instead they're gonna be satisfied finding the Windrunner. And that was a very, very quick kill there for Fnatic. Turn and burn. They're just going to look to knock down the first, actually the second tier 2 for them so far this game. And unfortunately, I don't think EG are going to be able to come down and stop it.
Poor Fogged. Time and time again, those TPs came through for her, and now it's not happening anymore. You have the sheep stick on the Queen of Pain, and now Rubik is actually out and about with that telekinesis. So there's no way that you can actually TP out now because you're going to get stopped from doing so. Fear? Do they know where he is? They are beelining for him, so I'm going to assume that they do indeed. He tries to TP out. Fly's not going to make it in time. The familiars are not going to scout it out in time. Needed to split the familiars up, have one go one way and one go the other way. Didn't quite happen, but honestly, you can't fault No Tail. His familiars have been making things happen all game long. In the meantime, that time wasted going to the top lane is going to give Aegis over to MSS and Jo. Jo is going to be the one to pick up that Aegis. Has the Aegis to be able to survive through these team fights, and also has the Desolator now. So that output of damage is huge on Weaver at that point, and it's just going to eat through heroes like Visage, like Rubik, even like Queen of Pain. And now the push is going to come through. The Desolator is going to help in taking out this tower as well. Universe is down there, has the Shadow Blade available to get himself out of a sticky situations, and now the rotations do come down. MSS might just be the one to get caught out here and surrounded by everybody. The ultimate's going to get applied to this tower from that Troll Warlord. They're not going to have it in this next fight. MSS, he's getting surrounded. Universe is already backing up with the Shadow Blade. Trixie trying to get in there. Hani in there. Hani with the Gensu stick. Huge, huge plays out of Fnatic once again, but now he's back. Jo, it doesn't matter. Look at him just drop so quickly. He didn't stand a chance, Barry.
And that's the life of Weaver, unfortunately. I mean, EG didn't come in to protect him, and if I had to look at this in a situation, I look at it similar to last game. EG's late game lineup is still going to be stronger than what Fnatic are going to bring. Yeah, you've got the Queen of Pain, but Queen of Pain isn't going to replace the damage or the potential that having 2 extra cores like EG have is going to do. I mean, you've got the Doom, who can get pretty tanky and pretty thick, but they actually are going to find the Doom in the jungle. Fly and Hani are here as well. The Sheep goes out right away, as well as the Scream of Pain. And the follow-up is just so simple and so clean for No-Tail there as well. Solo Assumption picks up that kill on Doom as they are now looking to knock down this 2-2 in the middle lane. Realizing the mistake they might have made last game by not pushing early with the advantage they had, they're looking to fix that this game. With the advantage they've got on Hani and Era, they are not letting up or letting EG breathe whatsoever.
It's going to be a tough fight for EG, but the defense has got to come down for them, and already Jo is gearing up for that. He throws the bugs out. They get destroyed, and there's really no engagement that they can have from that, but the bugs did buy them at least a little bit of time, and during that time, you do see MSS pushing this bottom lane. Fear hanging nearby, he can get to the fight when he needs to with that charge available. And you have heroes like Doom as well as Troll. And where are they going to be when the lane's not safe? They're going to be in the jungle. And look at these wards all over the place for Fnatic. Yes, and they know that they're going to be in the jungle, and they've been very proactive, jumping on the opportunity when they do see somebody. I mean, you could just let it go, but they see someone there and they all go up there. They smoke gank and beeline straight for whoever's in the jungle. And now Fogged, what are you doing? Get out of there. You need to get back into your base.
He doesn't know all the damage that's right there, but instead, yep, the sentry did spot out No-Tail, as well as the smoke is going to be ending there for Fnatic. But the movement from Fnatic in the past 5 minutes, or 5-10, has been just phenomenal. The play from No-Tail this game has been amazing. With these familiars, he's been all over the map with these things. If No-Tail's on the bottom half of the map, his familiars are in the top half of the map.
Trixie bait.
That's what makes the biggest difference. But right away, Trixie, he's looking to make the bait out of it here as No-Tail and Fly come out of nowhere looking for that kill on Fog. Fog forced back up to the top, but instead Fear is the one left behind and brought down for 40 seconds here.
Tough breaks.
Poor guy.
Yeah, now you have one less hero in this defense, and it looks like AG is just going to choose to try and split push. They know they can't defend this. They have to sack the racks, and now actually Fear bites back into the game, and will we see the supports come on, or the TPs rather, come on through to defend it, or do you keep pushing? And it looks like they're going to opt to just keep on pushing until the racks actually start getting beaten down here. The clock is ticking down for EG, though. They're going to go ahead and trade.
Apparently, you don't have your in-game turned on.
I don't know what's wrong. I have it turned on, but it's not working. I don't know. It must be something with Dota.
Here comes Hani sheeping up Fog right away. Fog, first one to go down as the supports go down one by one, and the chain buybacks come out here as Era looking for the chase on Fear, and he does go down. Is there a buyback on Spirit Breaker? There is not. 5 minutes and 17 seconds there. Fog as well did buy back, not looking to go down once again, but Weaver with the split pushing on Deso. He's looking to make the trade. Trixie as well as Hani, they're still in this base. They're going to have to go back soon because Weaver pushes exceptionally fast, as well as Doom. Universe is here as well. They're looking to cheese it out. Trying to make the trade out of it. JL still stuck inside the Radiant base, looking to make the escape. He's taking a lot of damage. Tower shots from every direction. Popping his Shikuchi and his TP. Good timing on that. Sending him back to base, but they still lost one melee barracks only for the trade of a tier 2, which honestly is the best they could have done, but they still come out of it on the down low.
EG was really afraid to actually engage in that 5-on-5 fight versus Fnatic, and rightfully so. I think the decision to go ahead and keep on pushing was decent enough. You did force Fnatic back in the long run, so you didn't lose anything but the melee racks. It is detrimental, but it was probably the best case scenario there for EG. It could have gone a lot worse. And yeah, Trixie getting charged on the bottom lane. Also, Doom is on top of him as well. Jayo's going to get in here, and now that Desolate damage is going to be absolutely huge with that minus armor. Hani looking to pick somebody off here. Sheepstick is going to get applied to Fear. Fear, nothing he can do to get out of this one. And now Hani, he's like, Era, take that one. I'm going on through. I'm charging this. I'm going to go ahead and try to pick off somebody else. Has his sights set on Jayo. He knows where Jayo is. Jayo, you're not safe there. He's gonna try and main up. He needs to get out of here. TP is gonna happen. There's no Sheepstick available on Hani just yet, so Jayo is gonna live to see another day.
Oh man, MSS here as well. Being super sneaky, he's waiting for something. They know they want this tier 2, but not gonna matter. Engagement's gonna go in the middle lane. Fogged, pushing himself up to the high ground, trying to TP back to safety. Once again, they're not gonna have a second stun to push out the TPs as EG 1-by-1 escape merely on TPs as MSS just sneaking around with the Shadow Blade here all over this Radiant XS jungle, and I think he's looking to either split push as soon as Fnatic go to push of their own as Universe. This is what they're doing. They're just buying time with Shadow Blades.
They really are.
Really ridiculous.
You don't really think there's much split push from EG other than the Weaver, but they are making it happen with Universe, with MSS. Pushing 2 lanes at once. They know they can't engage on a 5-on-5, so they're like, okay, we're going to split you up. We're going to make you defend top. We're going to make you defend bottom. Meanwhile, you're going to try and push mid at the same time, and it's just not going to work for Fnatic. So this is what EG's game plan is. But hold on. Hani, he's getting charged. He blinks actually into the fray more. Nakes pops on out of him, though. Universe taking a beat down. Look at that HP come into play as Nakes just feeds that on through. Fear's going to try and TP out. Another TP denial. Another one. No! Jayo actually gets stopped this time. Nice telekinesis out of Fly. That blink dagger getting him into the action faster so that nobody can TP out. But Jesus, Barry, we've had like 10 TPs go on through. 10 kills denied to Fnatic. Think how much more of a lead Fnatic would have if those TPs had gotten cancelled all these times.
Well, in that one, Hani was really patient on that. He waited to find the Weaver for his Sheepstick use rather than dropping it on the Spirit Breaker, which he let get away, which honestly, if they would have had just a little bit more damage, they would have secured that kill. But the patience did secure them that kill on the Weaver, which is much better than putting it on Spirit Breaker. But Troll MSS is just the sneakiest troll, hiding under the bridge, waiting for the opportunity. He really doesn't have that much farm, but he has enough that he's going to be able to push decently, and he's just going to look to block these waves and continue to push. And unless they can find a kill on him, Universe is going to do the same. He's almost got what would appear to either be a Scotty, which honestly a farthest thing from my mind in terms of Doom, which he might go for a Sheepstick, which is probably going to be a more of a viable item for Universe here, especially if they're looking to do some split pushing. And you know what, Fnatic says screw it, we're done, we're not going to sit around and let you split push us, we're just going to go down to our bottom lane. But right away, Ani and Fly, they jump in, they're looking to go on Fog. This Fog, usual suspect for these gangs, goes down once again, but they're not done. Fly eating Fear's ultimate, the wall goes down, only catches 2 on the other hand, but they're able to hold them in long enough just so Era can go to town with the damage. Jayo forced back to the fountain. MSS as well. Can they find the kill? Soul Assumption coming in on MSS instead of Jayo, and he will survive. But it is 2 down.